We appreciate you doing this with us. Yeah, we were super excited to talk to you and just glad we found a time to talk about the amazing things you guys are doing.
But since we're not scientists or engineers, could you explain what EcoWave power is and how it works?
Yeah, of course. So EcoWave Power developed a unique, innovative technology for generation of clean electricity from ocean and sea waves. We basically attach floaters to the outside of marine structures such as breakwaters, piers, jetties, and other type of marine structures. And these floaters are going up and down with the movement of the waves. They're pushing hydro cylinders, which transmit biodegradable fluid into land-located accumulators. A pressure is being built. The higher the waves, the higher the pressure. And then this pressure is used to turn the hydro motor, turning a generator, and sending clean electricity to the grid through an inverter. And when the waves are too high for the system to handle, then the floaters automatically lift above the water level and they stay in the upward position until the storm passes. When it passes, they automatically commence their operation.
Super cool.
Yeah, that's so amazing. So what inspired you and your founders to look to the ocean for renewable energy?
So that's actually quite a long story, but my business partner, his name is David Leb. We're two founders. He's a very successful serial entrepreneur, and he invests a lot in real estate. And one of the real estate that he invested in was a surf camp. I see a surfer behind me, by the way, so I guess you can relate. He invested at a surf camp, a surf hotel in Panama called Rancho Estero. And basically, when they were doing renovations, we were sitting there every day and watching, the waves and the surfers, and thinking, wow, there must be something better that can be done with the power of the waves, other than only marine sports. And myself, I actually established the company at a very young age. I was 24. I just finished university, and I went to work as an English Hebrew translator for a renewable energy company. And that's how I kind of got passionate about the renewable energy world and got some ideas and some, got my passion towards it. But I didn't have the money or the contacts. I was from a very little town, a very small town in Israel. So I couldn't really make any of my ideas or passion a reality. And then one day at a social event, David and I, we met accidentally. And we found out that both of our passion is wave energy, which is quite rare because it's not exactly a normal conversation topic. And that was kind of the beginning of the EcoWave Power.
That's amazing. Two major stories connected.
Thank you.
Does it mean that you operate under a power purchase agreement?
So basically, when you're building the power station, let's say the company is financing this, investing the money in the construction of the power station, then the company needs to get a return on its investment. So basically, in the energy business, many times, especially when you're a new type of renewable energy, you enter a power purchase agreement with the local electrical company or energy ministry of the country, or even with a private entity, where basically this entity commits to buy the electricity from us for the lifespan of the project, which is usually 25 years. So we're basically financing the construction, and then the client, which can be a government, a private or a public entity, is buying the electricity at a predetermined price for a predetermined period of time. So that's the meaning of a PPA.
Okay. And where are most of your, what do you call them, like stations?
So we have an operational power station in Gibraltar, which we opened in 2016. And currently we're finalizing the first wave energy grid connected power station in Israel in collaboration with EDF Renewables IL, which is a subsidiary of the French National Electrical Company. And we have a project pipeline of 254 megawatts in different countries, Portugal and Spain and Vietnam and Bangladesh and Australia and New Zealand. And we're definitely also interested in bringing our technology to the United States. And now with the Biden administration that is really supporting renewable energy and really believing in climate change, going back to the Paris Agreement and doing the Green Deal, we really think that there's a real chance to get wave energy as a significant part of the United States renewable energy mix. And we really hope that this will be our next market to penetrate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's so interesting. So it's amazing how your company brings two countries together, Israel and Sweden. How did this kind of happen?
So basically, we were looking to publicly list the company, and we looked at different markets. And we decided on the Swedish market because, first of all, a very large percentage of Sweden's electricity, about 54%, is produced from clean energy sources, renewable energy. So we understood this is a market that really cares about the environment and implements a lot of renewable energy solutions. Second of all, we really liked the Nasdaq brand, and we saw the listing in Nasdaq Stockholm as a stepping stone to list on Nasdaq US. And really, last week, we announced publicly that we have submitted a confidential filing for a US listing. Also, there were a number of comparable companies that were doing really well in Sweden, which also pushed us to the market. And a large portion of our project's pipeline is in Europe, so it really made sense to be listed in the European market. So that's why Sweden. And for me personally, it was like a nice closure, let's call it, to list in Sweden, because although I live in Israel and speaking from Tel Aviv, Israel, I was born in Ukraine, and 2 weeks after I was born, the Chernobyl nuclear reactor exploded, which caused the largest in history nuclear disaster. And I was one of the babies that got hurt in the explosion. I actually get a respiratory arrest and a clinical death. And luckily, my mother, who is a nurse, came to my crib on time and gave me a mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, which saved my life. And I got a second chance in life, and that's what really made me passionate about it. But the role that Sweden played in the whole story is that the USSR tried to hide the fact that the Chernobyl nuclear reactor exploded from the rest of the world. They didn't tell its citizens, and they didn't tell the citizens of the world. So Sweden was actually the first country in the world that notified everybody that, like, be careful, you know, a big nuclear disaster had happened. And by doing so, they saved many lives. So now for me, kind of going and listing in Sweden is a nice closure.
That is crazy story. I can't even imagine being in that scenario.
Well, it's 7 a.m. I need to wake you up with something.
that definitely did it. So is there anything we can do from here to support your work, or more ways that we can collaborate with you?
By doing this kind of interview, you're doing a great help to the wave energy industry, because you're spreading the word, and more young people and older people that are listening to your program will be exposed to EcoWave power and to wave energy through it. So I think that's amazing. And listen, I really think that everything counts when you're trying to make a change and when you're trying to make an impact. So even if you can do the smallest thing like recycling, or the largest thing like going to work, or maybe becoming an entrepreneur of a renewable energy company yourself in the future, I think that's a great help to our planet.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And then is there anything else you'd like young people to know about you and your company?
Listen, I think that my main message is, one, never give up, because when you're opening a company at a young age, and I often did EcoWave Power when I was 24 years old, and you don't necessarily have the money or the connections or the necessary experience, you hear a lot of no, and you hear a lot of you can't, and don't even try doing that. And I think that the most important for them is to kind of follow their dreams and follow the passion, and never to give up. And I always say that passion is the greatest renewable energy source. It keeps renewing itself, it never ends. So, and the most important maybe thing is, remember that the world is billions of people, and in order to make your dream come true, you only need one person that believes in you in each step of the way. So never give up, and really, go with your heart and go with your passion, because you can't be wrong when you're doing that.